I should have known something was wrong when her mother smiled at me like she'd been waiting for this. Not nice to see you wrong. Worse, the kind of wrong that means someone else in the room knows something you don't. Her name was Ava, and for 6 years, she had been my best friend, my favorite routine, and though I was doing an excellent job not naming it, the person I built most of my life around. We met because she insulted my sandwich. I was at a campus deli, holding what I believed was a perfectly respectable turkey melt, when she stepped beside me, looked at it once, and said, "That bread looks emotionally defeated." I turned, ready to be offended. Then I saw her smiling. So instead of defending my lunch, I said, "That feels aggressive for a stranger." She shrugged. "I'm trying to help you." That was Ava. Funny without trying. Pretty in a way that stopped being useful the moment you noticed it. The kind of person who made every conversation feel like you were already halfway into an inside joke. After that, we kept running into each other. Then we started arranging to. Then, somewhere between study sessions, late night drives for fries, and texts that began with absolutely nothing urgent, she became the first person I wanted to tell things to. Good things, bad things, stupid things. If something happened, Ava usually knew within the hour. Naturally, everybody around us was insufferable about it. My sister once watched us argue over movie rankings for 20 minutes and said, "This is either romance or a hostage situation." Ava laughed. I laughed too. Then, like always, we moved on without examining anything. That was the habit. If I'm being honest, I came close more than once. There were dates where I caught myself thinking, I can't wait to tell Ava about this later, which is not a healthy thought to have while sitting across from another woman. But I never pushed at it, because Ava was the most stable thing in my life, and asking harder questions felt like volunteering to ruin it. So I did what I always did instead. I showed up. That was how I ended up at her family's house on a Sunday afternoon carrying a bakery pie, 2 grocery bags, and a folding chair she'd left in my trunk 2 weeks earlier. Her younger brother had a graduation party that evening. Ava texted me that morning, "Please come early. If I hang decorations alone, I will become a criminal." So I came. She opened the door with tape stuck to one wrist and 3 balloons tangled around one arm. "You're late," she said. I'm 4 minutes early." "You're spiritually late." "Interesting? Is that diagnosable?" She stepped aside and let me in. Only in men. Her house already smelled like grilled food and vanilla candles, the very specific scent of a family trying to look organized while quietly losing control in 3 rooms at once. I handed her the pie. She glanced at the bakery box and raised one eyebrow. "You didn't make this." That accusation feels personal. There's a price sticker on it. I looked down. I wanted to support local business. Ava laughed and took the box. She was wearing jeans and a soft blue sweater, hair twisted up badly with loose pieces already falling around her face. She looked busy, warm, and distractingly like she belonged in the middle of a house full of people who loved her. That thought was becoming a problem. For the next 40 minutes, we set up chairs, untangled lights, and argued over where the dessert table should go. "It should be near the fence," Ava said. "That's where the dog will be." "He's family. He's opportunistic." She gave me a look. "That's a strong word for a beagle. He knows what he is." She was halfway through laughing when her mother opened the back door and called, "Ava, I need help with the—" "Oh good, he's here." I turned around. Mrs. Bennett was carrying a tray of lemon bars and looking directly at me with the expression of a woman who had privately solved a puzzle months ago. I had known her almost as long as I'd known Ava. She liked me, which I appreciated and distrusted equally. "Hi, Mrs. Bennett," I said. She smiled. "Eli, perfect timing." Ava groaned. That's what you say every time someone can carry something heavy." "And yet," her mother said, handing me the tray, "you still invite him." Ava rolled her eyes. "Yaka, he has arms." "I'm aware," her mother said. "I'm also aware of other things." That line went by too fast to catch properly, or maybe I caught it and refused to inspect it. Again. By sunset, the backyard looked good. Lights overhead, food lined up, music low, family scattered into little islands of conversation. I was carrying paper plates from the kitchen when I heard Diane say, "There he is." I looked up. She was standing near the back door with two of Ava's aunts and one glass of wine too many to remain fully filtered. Ava was beside her, refilling a pitcher, already looking nervous for reasons I didn't yet understand. Then her mother smiled at me, too brightly, too knowingly, and said, "So, this is the one you never stop talking about." Everything stopped. Not the party, not the music, just me. I looked at Diane, then at Ava. Her face went bright red. Not pink, not embarrassed in the casual way, bright red. "Ava," her mother said, clearly enjoying herself, "I'm just saying, I know more about this man's coffee order than I know about my own husband's." "Mom." "And the jacket thing. Don't forget the jacket thing." "Mom." Her mother turned back to me. "You're apparently impossible, underdressed in winter, and terrible at replying with full sentences. Also, she worries when you skip lunch." One of the aunts made a sound that was way too interested. Ava set the pitcher down too hard. "I need to go somewhere else now." She vanished into the house. I stood there, holding paper plates like I'd been hit by decorative lightning. Because the worst part wasn't that her mother said it. It was the fact that Ava looked mortified because it was true. And once that hit me, every small thing from the last year started rearranging itself. The way she noticed when I was tired before I said anything. The way she remembered everything. The way she got quieter whenever I mentioned another girl. The way no one in her family seemed remotely surprised except me. Diane looked at me over the rim of her glass and said, much gentler now, "You might want to go after her." That was the first smart thing anyone had said in the last 30 seconds. So I set the plates down and went inside. I found Ava in the laundry room off the kitchen, which was somehow exactly where she'd go, small, quiet, temporary, on just enough privacy to recover without looking dramatic. She was standing with her back to me, arms folded, staring at a shelf full of detergent like it had personally betrayed her. "Ava." She didn't turn around. "Your mother is a menace," she said. "That feels true. She's also never speaking again." I stepped into the doorway. "She really talks to you about me that much?" That finally got a reaction. Ava closed her eyes, not dramatically, just like she was already tired of the answer. Then she turned around, face still flushed, and gave me the kind of helpless look people only wear when denial has officially become useless. When she spoke, her voice came out low and very steady. "I really wish that wasn't your first question." I stared at her. She looked down once and then back at me. And in that cramped little laundry room, aunt with the dryer humming and a graduation party happening one wall away, my best friend said, "Eli, you cannot actually be surprised by this." The dryer clicked off behind her. Neither of us moved. Ava stayed in the middle of the laundry room with her arms folded, still pink from what her mother had done to her in front of half the backyard. I was in the doorway trying to catch up to the fact that the one person I had been carefully not examining for years was apparently the person her entire family had already figured out. I cleared my throat. "Okay." She gave me a look. "That sounds bad." "No, it sounds like I'm trying very hard not to say the wrong thing." "That would be a nice change." Despite everything, I almost laughed. That helped. A little. I stepped farther into the room and said, "You're right, I'm not surprised." Ava blinked. Why, not dramatically. Just enough that I could see the answer land. "I'm late," I added. "That's different." Her shoulders eased by about half an inch. "Those are not the same thing," she said. "I know. Because if you're about to tell me you had no idea I'm going to need a new family and maybe a passport." That got an actual laugh out of me. Then I told her the truth. I think I knew there was something here. I just kept calling it friendship because that was the safest version. Ava's face changed at that. Less mortified. More careful. "Safe for who?" "For me," I said. "Because if I was wrong, I lost you." She held my gaze. The party was still going outside. I could hear muffled music through the wall, someone laughing too loud near the grill, her father saying something about propane like it was a life philosophy. But in that little laundry room, it felt like the world had narrowed down to two people, and one conversation that should have happened a long time ago. Ava looked down at the floor for a second, then back up. "You really thought you could lose me that easily?" "No," I admitted. "I thought I could lose the easy version of us." That one landed exactly where it should have. Her expression softened in a way that nearly ruined me. Because that was the real fear, wasn't it? Not losing her completely. Losing the part of my life that had always felt the most natural. I leaned against the doorframe. Do you want to know the embarrassing part? That depends. Is it embarrassing for you or for me? Mostly me. Then yes, obviously. I smiled. Every time I dated someone, I ended up comparing them to you. Ava stared. I kept going. Because stopping there would have made me sound less stupid than I actually had been. I'd be on a date with someone perfectly nice and think, Ava would hate this restaurant. Or Ava would have answered that joke faster. Or I can't wait to tell Ava about this later. Her whole face changed. The embarrassment was still there, but hope had started pushing through it. That, she said quietly, is an absurdly unfair thing to tell me now. I know. No, seriously. You do not get to say that after I got exposed by my own mother beside a tray of lemon bars. That's fair. And the jacket thing? She asked. I frowned. What jacket thing? She closed her eyes. Oh, this is humiliating. Ava, you wore that old green jacket all winter even though the zipper was broken. She looked at me like she couldn't believe she was saying this out loud. I talked about it because I hated it. And because it was yours, and because apparently that mattered to me more than it should have. I laughed under my breath. She pointed at me. Don't. I'm not laughing at you. What then? At the fact that your mother has been tracking your emotional spiral through outerwear. That got her. She laughed once, covered part of her face with her hand, and for the first time since I walked into the room, she looked less like she wanted the floor to swallow her whole. And once she laughed, the rest came easier. Not easy. Just easier. I stepped closer. Ava, she lowered her hand. I should have figured this out before your family did. A tiny smile. That bar was not high. I should have figured it out before your mother did. Still not high. Before your beagle did. That made her laugh again. Any warmer this time. Okay, that one hurts. Good. I'm trying to recover dignity. You don't have much to work with. Fair. We were close enough now that I could see the exact second she stopped bracing for rejection and started listening for what came next. So I gave her the clean version. Not perfect, just honest. You're the first person I want to tell things to, I said. You're the person I look for in every room. And whatever I kept calling friendship to make myself feel safe, it stopped being only that a long time ago. Ava didn't say anything. She didn't need to. The look on her face told me she had wanted those words for much longer than tonight. How long? I asked softly. Ava's mouth curved just a little. That's a rude question. Probably. She leaned back against the dryer. Since your birthday last year. I frowned. The one where my cake collapsed? Yes. That was not my best event. You spent the entire night making sure everyone else had food before you got any. Then you sat on the kitchen floor and fixed my heel with duct tape. She lifted one shoulder. It was annoying. I fixed your shoe, that's romantic now? With you, apparently everything had to sneak up on me sideways. I smiled. That sounds inconvenient. It was. There was a pause, not empty, full in the best way. Then Ava asked the one question that actually mattered. So, what happens now? I could have joked. Old me probably would have. Instead, I said, now I stop wasting time. And then I kissed her. Not in a dramatic movie way, not like I was trying to prove anything. It felt warm, certain. I'd like the answer had been there for years, and both of us were finally done pretending it was complicated. When I pulled back, Ava stayed close enough that our foreheads almost touched. Well, she said softly, that makes the lemon bars worth it. I laughed. Is that your takeaway? No, my takeaway is that my mother is going to be unbearable. She already is. She's going to look at me over breakfast tomorrow like she personally invented love. She kind of did invent this moment. She did not. Her timing was aggressive but effective. Ava smiled against the last inch of space between us. You are never taking her side again. No promises. That earned me a light shove and another kiss, quicker this time, like she was checking whether it still felt as real as the first one. It did. A minute later, we finally stepped back, and Ava looked toward the door like she was remembering there were 30 people outside, and all of them were related to her. I can't go out there like this. Like what? She gestured at her face. Like I've just had my whole emotional life reorganized beside a washing machine. That feels specific. It feels accurate. I glanced toward the kitchen. We could stay in here until college. Tempting. But my mother would absolutely come get us. That was true. So we took a breath, straightened ourselves out as much as people can after changing the direction of their lives in a laundry room, and walked back toward the party together. The second we stepped outside, Diane looked up from the dessert table. Then she saw our faces. Then she did the most dangerous thing a mother can do. She smiled very slowly and said absolutely nothing. The Ava muttered, "I'm moving." I said, "That seems expensive." She looked at me. "You're not helping." "Not true. I'm standing very supportively beside you." Her brother walked by, glanced between us once, and said, "Finally," like this had been delayed due to poor project management. One of the aunts laughed. Her father looked confused for exactly 3 seconds before shrugging and going back to the grill. And weirdly, that made it better. No huge scene, no interrogation. Just the quiet, humiliating realization that apparently everyone had been waiting for us to catch up to our own lives. A month later, Sunday at the Bennett's house felt exactly the same and completely different. Same backyard, same grill, same beagle trying to commit food theft. The only real change was that now Ava sat close enough for her knee to press against mine. And when her mother said, "So, how's my favorite son-in-law candidate?" nobody acted surprised except me. Ava kicked me under the table before I could laugh. That was the thing. Nothing about being with her felt unnatural once it happened. It felt like I had finally stopped mislabeling the best part of my life. If you were in my place, what would you have done when her mom called you the one she never stops talking about? Tell me in the comments. And if you like this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.